So, some time ago, I think it was over a year ago, I bought these leather gloves because I wanted to do a photo shoot with them. I had this idea in my head to do like a POV shot of, oh, there goes the dog. He's doing his shaky shakes. He's right underneath the table. It's a POV shot of like a serial killer or a contract killer, something like that, and maybe I can make a short film with like POV of the killer coming to, strangle his victim or something. And I was like, oh, I can make some ASMR with this, but I never ended up making anything with it. So, yeah, it's a piece of wood right here. I don't know if you can hear it. Hold on. It's a big piece of wood. This is my neighbor hammering. It is. I make these videos kind of late at night. It's 10:30 on a Monday, and my neighbor, I think, is hammering stuff into the walls. What is happening? Okay, I think he's done. So anyway, this. Nope, still going. Who hammers stuff at 10:30 at night on a Monday? Like, dude, I know when you get home. Like, you've been home all. Like, I got home at 4:30, and he's been home the whole time. And he couldn't have done this at any time before 10:30 at night. Alright, well, adventures in ASMR when you live in an apartment, right? Anyway, this is called an apple box. It is, I think this would be a quarter apple box. So, apple boxes are used on film sets to make things higher. Most often, actors, if you want to get actors to a certain height, you just have them stand on one of these. This is a quarter, and you could get a half or a full, which would be 4 of these. And there's also an eighth, which is often called a pancake, which is just a little guy. But I often use this for making sounds. So I think this leather gloves. Oh, there's some good dab in there. Yeah. I also have this toothbrush. It's an old toothbrush, don't worry. Can make that. These are sneak previews of videos. Where was I going with this? I got so distracted by the guy hammering on the wall. Oh, is it good ASMR when I laugh? Leave a comment down below. I'm trying to get better about the comments. You people are doing a very lovely job at commenting on my dumb questions. I appreciate you. So I got these gloves, and I'm gonna make ASMR with them. But I've had them for like a year, so that was my interesting story for the day that ended up taking much longer than I anticipated, and I had more to talk about, but I don't remember now what I was going to talk about. I've been getting a couple requests for things. There's one guy, I think I talked about him yesterday, he wants some laundry noises. Another guy wants some Grand Theft Auto noises. Somebody else mentioned water fountains, which will be difficult to do, but I'm gonna get to it. So if there's any other requests, drop them in the comments, because I want to make more videos. And if you have ideas, that helps me. Not that I need any more ideas. Oh, hold on. Let me try not to drop this too loudly. Like, I don't know, my neighbor obviously doesn't care about hammering stuff. Oh, I don't know if I can reach it. Hang on. I'm coming back, I promise. Okay, here we go. I'm back. So, take these off. Hand sounds. Oh, we're getting so much ASMR variety today. So I got this book. some. There's more. Here's more. Here's more. Here's more. You guys can't even see it. That's like, what, 6 pages? Like, single-spaced. And this is just like ASMR white noise ideas. Because I do have a white noise channel too. It's called Relaxing Recordings. You can go check that out. I'll drop a link down below. But I do ASMR over there too, because why not? I've been doing 1 minute ASMRs over there. And then big long 10-hour videos. And I was doing 1 minute ASMR over there because that channel got demonetized for reused content, which is basically catch-all for anything. But basically because I was just looping videos for 10 hours, YouTube was like, and so they took away my monetization on that channel. But I got it back because I guess the 1 minute ASMR, like, whatever, the robot overlords decided that my content was less reused. I also had to delete a lot of videos. That channel had like 200 some videos, and I ended up deleting like 185 of them. So that was kind of a bummer, especially because a lot of them were like long videos that had taken like a day to render or more. So it's just like, oh, my poor electric bill. But such is life, you know, when you kind of play the YouTube game, trying to make them YouTube dollars. I don't make like hardly any money on YouTube. But that's the dream. The dream is to get paid to put people to sleep. That's what we're after. That's what we're doing. And so somebody commented today, I think, that they like to work while I ramble. So this one's for you, guy, because there really was no thought put into this video at all. I just was like, oh, I have these gloves. I'm gonna make some ASMRs with the gloves. And I was like, I'm gonna talk about them today. And that was all I had planned. But I took some photos today. Got paid. What's up? Got underpaid. What's up? Because I was at this golf thing. It was like a golf outing for a corporate client. And I was just shooting like event photos. And then they're like, we need them like today. And I was like, so I got paid. I mean, it's still a pretty good rate, I guess. But like, it's lower than I would have charged normally for like a same day turnaround. But it is what it is, right? You know, still getting paid in this environment is pretty crazy. You know, because a lot of people don't have jobs, so practice gratitude, focus on the wins. Got paid today. Got, you know, as long as I make like, I did the math once, and I think it was like if I make $100 a day on average, then that's pretty much like all my expenses, and that, you know, gets me to zero basically. So, you know, some days in the commercial world you can make a lot of money, and then, you know, most of the time I'm not doing anything, so I'm making YouTube. So I don't know. Is it gauche to talk about money? Gauche. That's a fun word to say. Gauche. Let's talk about fun words to say. Gauche. Oh, here's a fun trick. I learned this, and I just remembered it the other day, and now I'm just reminding myself of it again. If you're ever in a conversation and you want to change the topic, you want to change the conversation, it doesn't matter what the conversation is, who you're talking to. Start talking about food. I promise you, it will always work, but sometimes it's a rough segue. But like, if you talk about food, and try this with anybody, like 99% of the time, like if your boyfriend, girlfriend is mad at you, you're probably not getting out of that one. But if it's like, oh, your parents are talking about death and funeral arrangements and what they want, just be like, so you guys at this pizza place, and it's like such a weird jarring transition, but they're like, well, no, and you're like, where do you guys go for pizza again? And then before you know it, like 30 seconds later, the conversation will be totally different. You're like, great, I don't have to have that death talk with my parents because they're not that old yet, and we shouldn't be having the death talk, and I don't want to think about my parents dying. Don't bring that evil into the world, mom and dad. So there's your nifty life hack for the day. What was I talking about? Oh, golf. So it's a golf outing. You know, I don't know anything about golf, but I was just there to take pictures. Cause a lot of people, you know, they sponsored holes and stuff. So I just out taking them photos, and then I had to go edit them super quick. But I also got to see my friend at the camera store, which was fun because I had to buy a new. So this isn't the lens, but I have it's a 2x extender is what it's called. So it makes everything twice as extendy. It zooms everything in twice as much. And it has a special cap. And I lost that cap, so I had to go buy a new one, which is like a dumb thing to buy, and it cost me like $10. But now I have it, and now I have a cap on that weird lens thing. Because I used it today for the first time in like all year. But it's very nifty to have. It's very good to have. Especially if you're shooting golf and you're super far away from everything. So there's that. Also, let's just go show more weird things, more camera things. This is called a lens baby. And I bought this to make videos with. And what's cool about this lens is, I don't know if you can see this, so it like bends, and because it bends, it like creates this weird like optical effect where like everything's out of focus but like this tiny little bit. So you can kind of create some cool effects with it, and I have not used it as much as I want to. It doesn't have autofocus, obviously. It's a manual lens, but they're pretty nifty. So yeah, that's on my desk. Let's see what else is on my desk here. Loud noises, I'm sorry. These Magmod is a company. They make for flashes, so for photo flashes. It's called it's a whole system, and it works with magnets, which is really cool because it used to like everything with photo flashes used to work with like Velcro, which is like it didn't work very well and it was super loud. But now it works with magnets and things just stick and it's great. But these are gels, and they come in these different colors. And what's cool about that is you can change the color of your flash, because flash is kind of balanced to daylight, like not exactly, but it's pretty close. So like you could do something called CTO, which is color temperature orange. So that's what most household lights are set to, because it's like it feels more warm and inviting. It's a warmer temperature. So that's what most people put in their house, because if you put daylight, it looks really cold and clinical. But since all flashes are like set to daylight, you have to gel them to change the color so that it matches the room. And then you change in the camera, you set the white balance to that warm setting, and then everything looks like normal, like it should. And you don't think about it too much until you shoot with the wrong white balance, and then you think about it a lot and how bad you are, and then you just make everything black and white. So that's the trick. If you see stuff in black and white, half the time it's because the colors are distracting and the photographer did not want to go through the effort of color correcting, or could not do it, either because they lack the skill, or some things are just you can't just, I want to say a bad word, I'm trying to be better, because YouTube has like told me I say bad words sometimes, and I'm like, no I don't. They're mad about that. So, but yeah, sometimes things just don't work out. What else can I show you on my desk? Oh, I bought this Switch dock because I was gonna play Switch and Let's Play ASMR or something, and then I just really haven't done it. So that's cool. That's loud again. Okay, what else do we got? These things. These are the dumbest things, but I love them. They are egg weights, and so what you do is you slide your finger through it, and you shadow box with them. And they're not heavy, they're like a pound each, and they're really expensive. They're like $50-$60 or something like that for the pair, but because there's such dense metal, I guess it's an expensive metal or something, it doesn't feel like much, but it really gets your heart rate up. And if you swing your arms when you walk, you get a real good workout that way. Pro tip, egg weights, man, they're great. What else can I show you that's on my desk? I have this guy. It's a super wide angle lens. I don't use it very often. And if you hear, there's like some sand in it or something. So I need to go send this in, but it doesn't really affect performance. It just like, sometimes it sticks. It's kind of a bummer, but like whatever, because I use it so infrequently. This is a battery grip for DSLR. I haven't been using it lately. It's nice because it has, so like the camera would go here, or here with the lens out. It adds some extra buttons, which is nice. It has an extra joystick, which the joystick on one of my cameras broke today, so I might go buy one of these for that camera. This is for the other camera, of course. They're not, you can't just use them for both. They're both Canon cameras, but that's how they get you, right? Grab this. Oh, this is a slider. It's a very small one. Usually they're much bigger. But this one is the Edelgrown slider one. And it's very nifty. You can set it up with your phone and you can tell it just goes back and forth forever. I haven't gotten a ton of use out of it. Even though I've had it for a couple years. It's kind of a cool thing, but it doesn't travel very far. It only goes like 6 inches, which is what I wanted. But I actually, since I bought it, I'm like, if it went like 12 inches, that'd be perfect. But they don't make a 12-inch one. They make really big ones that are like 2 feet or more longer. And I'm like, I just want a small one that packs in the thing. And I can do it with my phone, and it's automatic, and I can pack in my camera case, and then I'm done. That's just 12 inches. That's all I need. I don't need, if I'm going for a big one, it gets a dolly, essentially. You can get dollies that go on rails. They're called Dana dollies. They're great. I love them. And they're like $50 a day to rent. So give me like a mini slider that just moves. It just goes like a Subway sandwich worth. Give me the Subway slider. That's what I want. And no one makes it because it's either that or like this. Use a 6'1". I'm like, I don't need that. Like if I want 6 feet, then I'll have a crew and I'll get a dolly and I'll be done with it. Anyway, that's another small annoyance. What else do we got that's on this table? Toothpaste, dog toothpaste. My dog loves this brand for some reason. Goes ape over it. Just loves it. It's his favorite part of the day. Crab clamp. These are great. These little clamps. So you can like screw accessories into this part, and then this part just and you just clamp it on things. I'm not gonna clamp it on the microphone, but they're like $15. Great. Audio recorder. You've probably seen one of these. Little Zoom H1. These are great. I have 2 of them. Good for backup audio. Sometimes if I'm doing like event stuff, I'll put it on a podium, or if I'm doing like a wedding, I'll stick it in somebody's pocket, and then it just records. It's got auto levels and stuff. What else can I show you that's on my desk? Just kind of making stuff up as we go along. I bought a soccer ball. I don't play soccer. Never played soccer. Never had any interest in soccer. It's a size 4. I don't know what that means. Do you like soccer? Do you know what that means? Drop a comment down below. I think it means it's not a regulation size ball. But I bought it to work on footwork. But I think you could. I don't think anyone would want that. It's like a styrofoam sound. Which it's like one of my most popular videos right now. It's a styrofoam video. So, maybe I will make that video and torture you all some more. Cause I'm evil. Idea. Okay, tell me if this is a good idea or a dumb idea. Drop a comment down below. What if I made anti-ASMR for the whole month of October? Like a bad, evil person. Like sounds that didn't give you ASMR. No, that would be a really dumb idea, wouldn't it? I'm not gonna do that. Or maybe I will. No, I'm not gonna do it. But what if I did? I'm not gonna do it. What else do I have? Oh, here we go. Here's something. So this microconverter, SDI to HDMI. My big camera has 2 SDI outputs and 1 HDMI output. SDI is this weird. It kind of looks like your cable. It's called the BNC cable. But basically this takes the SDI signal and turns it into an HDMI signal, which you need if you're doing live streaming stuff, because most of the inexpensive live streaming stuff, you can kind of see a diagram here, most of the inexpensive live streaming stuff uses HDMI, and if you want to make a very, 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 very long run, HDMI doesn't work. HDMI only goes like 100. I think you can get 300 feet, and that's like pushing it if it's like there's no interference. which so many things can cause interference. You know, just like power cables can cause interference. So the real serviceable range is probably like 100 to 150 feet with HDMI, but with SDI, you could just run it forever, basically. So I don't know how that works. It's science. Someone much smarter than me figured that out. So you can run a super long distance with SDI, and then right at the last foot, convert it to HDMI, plug it into what you need to plug it into, and then you're done. Oh, what else can we show you that I have on my desk? I have some water. Been trying to be better about being hydrated. Are you guys being hydrated? Let's all take a water break right now. I might just make an ASMR video of me drinking water. I guess that's kind of what I did with that water fountain video. And people liked that. Because they want me to make another one. And I'm like, I already made that video. But I don't know, maybe they want it longer. Although I did drink water for like 20 minutes straight. Although I have a new idea. I learned something from this guy. What is his name? Oh man, I feel so bad. I don't know his name. But his handle is Pony Smasher. And he is a filmmaker. He makes a lot of horror movies, which is weird that I follow him because I don't really like horror movies because I get scared super easily. And then they stick with me for years and years and years. And even when I watch trailers, they scare me and I have to like sleep with the lights on. Like, so he made the film Lights Out. That's his big claim to fame. But he has a great YouTube channel that's about filmmaking stuff. And he did this one. He did a video that's just flipping the camera off for 4 hours. And you're like, whoa, dedication. And you even scroll through it, you're like, whoa, doing it for 4 hours, like what? And then he released a video like a week later. He was like, okay, here's how I did it. And he calls it rock and rolling, where you play a clip forward and then you flip it around. So it's like negative 100% speed. So it goes backwards. And then you just go forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. And if the clip's long enough and stable, like static enough, nobody has any idea. And he did it, as a kind of a fun joke of, flipping off the camera for 4 hours. But then he like pointed out that like in several of his movies he's used it because like maybe a shot wasn't long enough. And so they did, that, and then they added some digital stuff, digital movement, which you can do with cameras. So this camera shoots 4K, for example. And I guess I always render 4K. Which I don't really need to because no one's watching this in 4K. Like, is there any person watching my videos in 4K? Like, drop a comment down below if you watch in 4K. If you even have anything that displays 4K. But like, if you're watching on your phone, like whatever, 1080 is fine. But so if you're shooting 4K, and cameras now can shoot 8K, which 8K, so 4K would be if you have 1080. It's like 1080 is this, right? So 4K would be 4 of those, and then 8K would be 4 of the 4Ks. So that's like 16 1Ks. And since most things that go out into like theaters are still projecting at like 1K or whatever, 2K or whatever it is, it's it's not 4K yet even. So if you're shooting 8K, you have like all the screen real estate. You can shoot super wide, and you can zoom in digitally like a lot in post and still get away with it. There's reasons why you wouldn't want to do that. The biggest being that downscaling looks better. So if you have 8K and you downscale it to 2K, it's going to look better than if you have 8K and you push it into 2K. Also, you have like lens distortion and like lens qualities. Like, so you have lens compression, which I don't know if I can show you this on this lens, but we're at 24 millimeters right now. And then if we zoom in, now we're at 105. And I don't know if you can really tell the difference. But what should happen is compression changes the shape of my face. So they say that like that's probably like 85. Like that's a pretty good one to hit for like portraits, because 50 is about what the eye sees, and then 24, like this lens actually doesn't distort too bad, so you really can't tell. But so compression also, like if you look at the background, I don't know where it's gonna be able to show. It looks like it gets closer, obviously because you're zooming in, but also because of compression, so it gets bigger in the frame, not just in the frame because it's zoomed in, but because of lens compression. So, that was poorly explained, and you probably don't understand it. Maybe I'll make a better video sometime when I'm not just rambling about whatever strikes my fancy, because I want to make a super long video today. 10:57. I'm making this video for that one guy who said he listens to me whisper ramble at work. I'm helping you get focused. We're getting you a win today, guy. You're welcome, Daniel. I hope it's not Danielle, and I've been like, this guy. And so I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, we're getting you a win. Person. I'm inclusive of binary gender terms. I don't know. I'm at like that age where like all that stuff confuses me, but like I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I'm trying my best. Please don't be mad at me. That if I make merch, it's just gonna say, please don't be mad at me. I think people would buy that, and just a t-shirt that says, please don't be mad at me. I'm gonna look into that. Merch coming soon. Thank you, person who works really hard. We both got a win today. Also, so I've been fasting. Not this last couple days. I've been like actually eating more than I should be. But I've been doing, I've been trying to do 14-hour fasts, and then if I'm still like good, then I go a little longer, which usually manifests into like 16 to 19 hours. But I've noticed since I've been fasting a lot, my facial hair has been growing much faster, which this is like a couple days, which I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but like for me, like, oh, that's so much. Because usually like when I was like in my early 20s, I think I shaved like twice, like from 18 to like 22, I think I shaved 2 times, and it still like wasn't much more than this. It wasn't like a beard, like it never grows here. It's never grown here. It never will. I'm 34 now, and I've let it grow. I tried the quarantine beard. I went for like 4 months, and nothing right here. It just looked really stupid. I just had a really stupid goatee, and I do not look good with a goatee, so I'm not gonna do that. That's my thing, my story, my chutzpah. Chutzpah, that's the wrong word. I think that's a Jewish word. And happy. I think it's Yom Kippur right now. So if you're Jewish, I don't know the words. Mazel tov. That doesn't sound correct. There's a phrase I should know. I have a good friend that's super Jewish. Which anytime you say Jewish, that sounds like bad, but it's not. I don't mean it to be. But he's like, he lived in Israel for a while, and he's a really cool dude, and he like lifts a bunch of weight, and he's super strong. Good guy. Alex, that's his name. Look him up. Where was I going with that? I don't remember. Oh, I said the word chutzpah. Yes. Oh, we were talking about words that are fun to say. God, that was like 20 minutes ago. So I was talking to somebody on Snapchat, my friend, and I used the word dichotomy, and she's like, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, it's like two opposing things. That's a fun one. Juxtaposition, also fun. When you compare and contrast two opposing things, you juxtapose them, which is most of like fine art photography. You have a beautiful model in a derelict place. Derelict is another fun word to say. I got that one from Zoolander. It means run down. I should do a word of the day ASMR. Man, we are just chalking up wins on this. I should ramble more. I come up with tons of ideas. Yeah, I should write down that please don't be mad at me idea before I forget, because I will forget, because I have the worst memory in the world. I have a Sharpie. Oh, that's a good sound. You guys are getting so much bonus ASMR today. Nice. I almost knocked over. Oh, here's another list of ASMR ideas. So, on top of the book, I got this. So many things. Bear eats peanut butter. That's the one that sticks out. Bear is my dog's name. He's a good boy. He deserves peanut butter. Word of the day. ASMR. Would you watch Word of the Day ASMR? Drop a comment down below. Are you still watching this? If you're still watching this, drop a comment down below. You get a prize of nothing. I'll heart react, which I heart react like everything. Everyone comments anyway. Yes. Please don't be mad at me. T-shirt. I'm gonna look at this in like 6 months and be like, what does that mean? And I'm gonna be like, eh. And then somebody will have to be like, hey, remember when you said you were gonna make t-shirts? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I should do that. That's where we're at. So, oh, that's making some fun noises. Doing some tapping on my big water cup, my mug. I got this when I had surgery. Yes, ASMR with some flourish. Excuse me, it burped. Are you staying hydrated? For real? Drop a comment down below. It's my new catchphrase. Drop a comment down below. I gotta be better about it. Comments, that's what makes your channel blow up, apparently. And I want to buy a bunch of plants, and plants cost money, and the only way I can get money is by having a job, which I have. So, the other way I can do it is with the YouTube paychecks. And right now, I'm getting enough that I can buy like one plant a month, and I need more than that. So, I need to turn my apartment into a forest. Because I heard somewhere that girls they feel more comfortable if a guy has plants. And if you know where that's from, if you know where that phrase is from, and if you know, you know. I was told once that girls feel more comfortable in apartments with plants. If you know what that phrase is, here at minute 32, okay. And this, okay, drop, if you know where that comes from, drop a comment down below. And I'm not even kidding. I will send you a $5 Amazon gift card if you know where that phrase comes from. And you have like 24 hours to do it from when I post this video. If you comment and you know where it's from, you'll be my favorite person. And I'll give you a hint. It comes from a really dumb movie. And that's all I'm gonna say. But it's a dumb movie that I love to death. And few people have seen it. So, that's all you get. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, then I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. And that's actually not a bad idea for a topic. Just dumb movies that I love to death. I'm just getting wins all over the place here. People like it when I talk about movies because I think they just like my manic nature of rambling. But I could do this all day. As if I don't drop things. Dumb movies that I love. Boom, that's tomorrow's video. Sneak peek. Drop a comment down below if you know what that's from. Wow, we are at 34 minutes. 34 minutes of me rambling. Like I said though, I could do this all day. I don't know how long. I can whisper till my voice gives out. It doesn't feel very strained yet. Ugh. Okay, for real talk though, drop a comment down below. How long do you like these whisper videos to be? Are you just happy that as long as I'm talking, it's great? Or would you prefer like a 5-10 minute? Would you want me to mix it up? I'm gonna try and mix it up because I've been doing some long ones. So this is the first inaugural really long one. I don't think I've made a ramble video that was this long before because we're at 34, 35 minutes. And I was like, what if I went for an hour? Could I even whisper for an hour? The video would take a lot longer to render, and it would probably get the same amount of views. I mean, the watch time may be up or down, or I don't know. These are all stats. You gotta game the system if you want to win. Yeah. actually understand what the ASMR people are saying. If you couldn't hear what I was just saying, too many of them do this. ASMR. And you're like, those are just mouth sounds. Like, that's not whispering. You're just making, like, just do that. Don't try to, because I feel like that, like, breathy thing, like that breath, is like, that just grates my ears. I like it when I can, it's just like if there was like a person in your bed with you, like whispering, like, because you like telling secrets. These are our secrets. It's secret time. You know, me and 1,500. I think I just hit 1,500 the other day. Subscribers. Which, that's cool. 1,500. That's a big. Like, you know, in the scheme of YouTube, you're like, yeah, whatever, 1,500. But like, when you stop and you're like, that's 1,500 individual people that like saw something they liked enough to like click a button. Like, that feels like it's like a high school football game. Watching me tap on one and whisper about random stuff I have on my desk. Let me show you more things. This is okay. So there's something called the quick release plate. It goes on the bottom of a camera so it can go in and out of tripods. This is a receiver for that plate, but then I also put this thing which goes into what's called a baby bin, which is what this mic stand microphone is on, which you can't really see because it's out of the frame. But it, you know, so you could put this on C-stands and you could do overhead shots, which I have not done an overhead shot with this yet, but I might, you know, I always wanted to do a bunch of overhead stuff for ASMR, but then I ended up whispering instead, and people seem to like that a lot, so I just kind of ran with it, because I like making people happy, because I'm a people pleaser. Could you hear my neck pop there? And if so, and you don't like that, I'm sorry, please don't be mad at me. New catchphrase. Buy the shirt. Coming soon. Probably not. Because I don't want to have inventory. That sounds like a hassle. And all those print-on-demand shops do a terrible job. Although I really haven't, you know, maybe I need to explore that. Would you buy merch? Drop a comment down below. Yes. I don't know if I would buy merch. I don't think I've ever bought YouTuber merch. I think because a lot of it just like, he's like, YouTube channel. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy that. Like, for the same reason I don't buy just like company name. Like, I might buy band t-shirts, but that's different because then you can like find people that also like the band. You're like, oh, you like that band? Great, let's talk about the bands you like. Which is such like, that's like a metal kid thing to do. Although sometimes like it comes with like the exhausting like, I'm gonna quiz you because I'm more metal than you, and you're like, oh my god, I don't care. That happens with so many fandoms, and you're just like, dude, just let people enjoy things. Like, you don't have to quiz them. Like, if someone's wearing a Ramones t-shirt, you don't have to quiz. Well, to be fair, if people are wearing a Ramones t-shirt, like 9 times out of 10 they're posers. So there's that. Let's get that out of the way. But like, what good is quizzing them? Like, what's your favorite album? Like, what's your favorite Ramones song? And don't say Blitzkrieg Pop. And they're like, I want to be sedated. And you're like, oh yeah. That's the other one everybody knows. It's foiled. But for real, my favorite Ramones song. I think, okay, it's gonna be probably California Sun, which I don't know if that's a cover or not. But the other one that I like a lot is they covered Bob Dylan's My Back Pages, and I don't really like Bob Dylan, so you can hate me for that if you want, but I don't think he's a very good singer, and I think he would say he's not a very good singer, but that's not the point, because I like singers that aren't good singers, like Bright Eyes. I like Bright Eyes, I like Conor Oberst, he's pretty good. I met him once. I don't know if that's a big deal to any of you. I took pictures of him while he was recording his last album. Claim to fame, what's up? It's not really much of anything. So my friend Nick knows him pretty well, and my friend Nick actually used this camera to shoot behind the scenes video, and I shot photos, and Nick doesn't own a camera, so he hired me to shoot photos and bring my camera. So that's the job. I got paid pretty good for that. It's pretty fun, pretty neat, interesting. I heard the same song like 1,000 times because we were there for 6 hours and they played it. Not 1,000 times, but they played like when you're recording. I don't know if you've ever like recorded an album gonna get married to 4 people. Most of the time, at least one of them has substance abuse problems. And then, like, one guy, like, has a job that just, like, can't tell you that he's not gonna be at band practice. And you're like, okay, well, I guess we're practicing without the drummer. So, yeah, band time. That's why I did comedy. I moved to comedy after doing band stuff, because comedy was like being in a band, but it was just you. So, you know, you can kind of practice. And then I got out of doing comedy because all the other comedians made it not fun. Like, comedy's supposed to be, I thought it was going to be really fun, but it's just like these people that did comedy, at least locally, and apparently this is kind of a wider problem, were just like really toxic people. And they were just like, the big problem I had was that they were just so negative and two-faced towards each other, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. You know, oftentimes they would, like, there was this one girl, and I thought she was pretty funny. Her name was Abby. I thought she was a pretty good person, and she was pretty funny. But people would like criticize her because they would be like, "Oh, well, she just reads tweets," and I'm like, "Okay, well, like, you know, like, that's what one-liner comedians are." And then there was another comedian who was very popular, and he also just did one-liner jokes, and he, you know, literally read his Twitter feed. And people, you know, the same people loved him. And I was like, what's the difference? And they're like, well, there's nuance, you just don't get it. And I'm like, no, I get it. You're just mad because Abby told jokes about her boyfriend when she doesn't have a boyfriend, and then told jokes about being single in the same set, which is just a poor choice of joking. Because you should have, like, at least some level of suspension of disbelief. You know, if you're gonna do the boyfriend jokes, then have a boyfriend the whole set. It's only 5 minutes, like. But like, that's like a dumb reason to be like, oh, she just reads her tweets. I'm like, that's what some of you are doing. Like, you're literally tweeting like your jokes. Like, why is that a bad thing? I don't know. But the other problem I had a lot was like being a comedian was like their whole world view, and they used to, you know, it was like that was their thing. Oh, I'm a comedian, and like they wanted to be comedians so bad, but like they never put in the work to actually write new jokes. So they would tell the same jokes for like years. Like, I've seen them, some of them recently, and like the last time I was in the comedy world was like 2013, and some of the jokes are still the same. And I'm just like, you've been telling that joke for like 7 years, man. Like, every time I would go up, I would have a whole new set, because like there's ways to write jokes, you know. And I can make a whole video about that if you're interested in learning how to write jokes. I could teach you what I know about the joke writing process, which I'll give you a quick way to do it. So you take your topic, and then you make a list. This is all you do. You take your topic. Let's say your topic is fitness. Okay, so let's make a list based on fitness. Fitness is our theme. So we can think about people, places, things, events, anecdotes, stories that either you or friends have, and you can tell your friends stories. They become yours. Anytime someone tells you a story, it's yours now. Steal it. Who cares? Whatever. As long as they're not a comedian, just be like, hey, can I tell that story? And people are like, yeah. Oh my God, you're gonna tell my story? Great. And you can punch it up, and make it better. So, you know, okay. So, you know, person, places, things, events, and then like antonyms. So things that don't relate to fitness, like McDonald's. And then you could do person, place, things for antonyms. So, you know, you just start scrolling these like mind maps, and if you don't know what mind maps are, Google it, because it's hard to explain. But basically, you just like topic, and then jut, and then like word, and then from there you just jut out. It's kind of neat. It's a fun way to ideate. Ideate. That's another fun word to say. And so you just make these lists, and they just get big, and they're just pages, and then you just look at them, and the funny just comes to you. That's it. And really, that's what comedy is just like the surprise. And that's why, like, there's so many comedians that are the shock comedians, the shock value, because you don't expect people to say the thing that's so shocking, and that's what gets a laugh. But if you think, like, okay, so we're doing fitness, people, you know, we could say, man, is there really any, like, famous fitness people anymore? Like, it feels like there's so many of them, but they're, like, not as popular as they were. But you could say, like, Jillian Michaels, and you could say, like, place would be like a gym, and you're like, okay, Jillian Michaels, like gym. And then you could think of like antonym, like what's an antonym for fitness? It's like eating. Like, okay, well, let's think of a person is like Gordon Ramsay. And it's like, okay, well, what if Gordon Ramsay had a fitness TV show? Like, there you go. That's, that's your premise for a joke. Done. You just like, okay, riff off that. And you just ask a lot of questions like, what if? Like, what if there was a reality TV show where reality personalities switched influencer jobs and Gordon Ramsay had to run a gym and Jillian Michaels had to run a restaurant? Like, what would that look like? And there you go. You could riff off that for 5 minutes. Like, it might not be good, but like, that was just me coming up with stuff. I don't even have a list. I didn't write anything down. I came up with four words. Imagine if I had 400 words. I could come up with hours of material, and most of it would be garbage. And the point of that is you just throw it all away, and you just keep the good stuff. But that's what the work of being a comedian is you write the 400 words, you write the 4,000 awful jokes, and you figure out a way to vet them, and then you tell them, and then you vet them more, and then you tell them more, and then you polish the good ones, and then you sell them to other comedians. If you want to be a writer, or you perform them yourself, and you put together bits and pieces, and you make a set that has flow, and then people give you 5 minutes at a time, and then they give you 10 minutes, and they give you 15, and then 20, and then 30, and then an hour, and then eventually someone goes a year's a lot of money. And that's how you become a comedian. And in between that, you have to deal with all the toxic, negative people who are mad at you that you got cool experiences because you worked hard or you networked, and they deserve it and you don't. Comedy. Oh man, I feel like I could cut this whole one video into like 10 different videos already. But oh man, I'm making so many extra noises. You're so welcome from I should have stopped this video when the hammering started. I'm glad it hasn't continued. We're almost at an hour. We're going for the hour. We're going for 1 hour of rambling. With nothing planned at all. No plans. I have all these notes. I read these. These are ideas for videos. I read them once. Not all of them, but some of them. And I'm not going to resort to that. I'm going to keep riffing. I only got to riff for 12 more minutes. I have an Apple Watch. I like it. I've become very obsessed with filling my rings. I don't know if you can see. I filled my rings today. I have 1,059 move minutes, 51 workout minutes, and 15 stand hours. Boom. Apple Watch. Although I never hit my it doesn't let you, it counts steps, but it doesn't let you put that on the main screen, which I think is always dumb. Like, I don't care about stand hours, I care about steps. But I'm at 9,675 steps, which it does okay. It doesn't do perfect. It's not super accurate, because there's times where, like, I'll get up and walk around, and then it'll count like 2 steps, and I'm like, I walked around my whole apartment like 3 times. I was making food for like 10 minutes. Like, I definitely walked more than 2 steps, you liar. It's like 10 steps from the couch to the stove. Jerk. But that's just, small problems. I'm sure there's settings and, sensitivity levels or something that I could do, but I just don't. So, there's that. That's a thing. Here's the thing. I don't have a chair here. I have a chair. It's in my bedroom, which is a little more comfortable, and I have a really nice chair. Where can you see it? I got it for free. It's a really nice chair. It's like a $900 chair that I got for free, because my mom worked at this. It was like a healthcare place, and they had a government contract, and they had to throw out the chairs for some reason, but they had only been using them for like a year. And they're like, we gotta throw them all out. And she was like, do you need a chair? And I was like, no, I got this Home Depot one that I paid like $100 for. She's like, these are really nice chairs. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll take it. If it sucks, I'll dumpster it. And then it was like this amazing $900 chair, and I was like, I'm keeping this. And I've had it for like 6 or 7 years. And before that, I was buying a new $100 chair like every year, because I was a big dude. And now I'm still a big dude, but I'm much less big. Now I weigh, because back then I weighed like, this is the most I've ever weighed was 360 pounds. And right now I weigh like 240. So So slimming down. But like even like when I started this channel, I probably weighed like 315 pounds, something like that. 300 to 320, somewhere in that range. And I have in the last like 5 years. I also noticed this channel hit its 5-year anniversary last month, and I did nothing about it. You're welcome. I don't know what I would have done. I totally forgot. I thought it was actually 6 years, so go figure. But yeah, there's that. That's been a thing. It's kind of weird to think about. This is something. This and the White Noise channel is actually a little older. The White Noise channel might be 6 years old. So it's just like a weird thing when you like look back. Because I'm 34 now, so like the things I've done longest in my life, like I've been a hockey player I played from 8 to 23. So that's like 15 years, and then 4 more seasons. So like about 20 years of hockey, and I took a 10-year break. So 20 years of hockey, and then like 11 years of being a photo video guy, and YouTube for 6+ years. And I played guitar for 4 or 5 years, although I kind of still play guitar, but like I pick it up like once a month maybe, and just kind of noodle around with it for a little bit. But I thought about getting back into guitar and like learning how to make soundscapes for my White Noise channel, but I really haven't put a lot of effort into that. But that might be, that's like one of those things you're like, well, when I have time, and then, everything that happened this year, and you're like, you've got time now, and you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I think a lot of people are like that. I also said, oh, here's another thing. Going back, just backtracking weight loss. Today was the first time somebody who was not a grandma and did not ironically comment that I needed to lose weight, but because they were like, oh, did you get lunch? And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm trying to slim down. And they're like, you don't need that. And I was like, no one's ever said that and been serious before. So, feeling pretty good about my weight loss progress. So, of course, I went to Taco Bell as soon as I finished that job and bought like $20 worth of Taco Bell. That's okay. I'm doing good. And, that's one cheat. I'm doing okay. I'm gonna get back on the fasting train starting an hour and a half ago. Gonna do 16 hour, I think. Or I might try to just do all day tomorrow. And then more. I might try to do a 36 hour. I haven't done, the longest I've done is 28 hours so far. And I know like the benefits of fasting. Like you get some benefit around 14 hours. That's kind of when like all your liver stuff has kind of like mostly been depleted, I guess. And like some stuff in your body starts changing over to more ketosis. And you're burning more fat. And then it keeps ramping up. But after, I think the 24-hour period, you get autophagy, which is where your body starts like looking for bad proteins and like misformed cells and like stuff it's like wasn't used properly, like damaged stuff, and it goes and it like takes them, and it's like it uses that for energy on top of the fat. So and then autophagy is like it ramps up over 24 to, I think when you hit 48 is like it's a maximum, and not maximum but like most efficient to like time effort is like 36-48 is kind of in that little window, and then it keeps going up, and then at 72 hours it like tops out, and that's like when all the benefits like kind of top out, and after 72 hours like you're just at cruising speed. So like there's this one guy, his name's Dr. Jason Fung. He has like a theory about fasting where if like diabetics, type 2 diabetics specifically, fast for like 2 weeks, so that's just water, they can like reverse their diabetes to like a big extent, and like they can get off like insulin and stuff, because like you lose a lot of body fat, especially like around the organs and stuff, and your insulin resistance goes way down because you haven't had insulin responses in your body, for 2 weeks or whatever. So that gives your beta cells, which is what makes insulin, time to like rest and regenerate, build back up. and your cells kind of burn off all their energy, so they're more willing to take the insulin and the glucose and stuff. And so it's something I've been very curious about trying, but because of my lifestyle, I'm very active. I like to be active. I don't know how to do that, and every time I've been not active, I've been like hurt or sick. Where it's like, okay, well, you need nutrients. Theoretically, I don't know. I don't know enough about nutrition to really say what I really need and what I can get by for 2 weeks without. But I also know fasting for 2 weeks is super dangerous, and like when he says it, it's like his patients come in every day and get blood work, and there's a doctor monitoring it. I don't have that luxury, and I don't have that kind of money to do that. But I might try to do like a 3-day fast, which should be relatively safe because I can still check my blood sugar. I've got my Apple Watch, check my heart rate, make sure that's not dipping. And they also have constant glucose monitors now, so you can check your blood sugar like anytime you want. You just put your phone in front of it and Bluetooth. And they last for like 2 weeks, and they're kind of expensive, but I'm gonna ask my endocrinologist about it because I see her in a week. And I might try it, not because they're like $75 a piece. That's like $150 a month versus the test strips that I have, which are like $50 for like 3 months. So, I'm not shelling out money, but for a science experiment, if I could get, a month's worth, I could do a lot of tests, and I could maybe try a longer fast. And I might talk to her about, prepping for such a long fast, whether it's 3 days or a week or 2 weeks. And because especially like now, it's coming into like slower time, so I'm thinking like fasting after Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I could like do some hard fasts, especially because that's the time of year my favorite Oreos are released, and this will be my first Christmas as a diabetic, which is super sad because my favorite Oreos are the white fudge, or they're the Oreos that are covered in white fudge, and they are like, oh my god, I think they're like 20 grams of carbs per cookie, which is like an insane number. And right now I'm eating like, not today, because today I went way over on my carbs, but like on a normal day, I would normally eat like less than 50 grams of carbs, less than that even. And we are 90 seconds away from a 1 hour ASMR video of just 1 hour of me whisper rambling. So, Danielle, whichever it is, I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. Don't be mad. Please don't be mad at me. I'm going off memory here. Hope you're getting your work done. Because we're watching you, everybody, all 1,500 of us. We're over your shoulder. And we're like, focus, man. Or woman. Or binary, non-binary. With the terms, again, please don't be mad at me. I'm just old enough to not have really been properly introduced to that world well enough that I don't really get to practice it, especially in Nebraska. There's people that are, trans and non-binary in Nebraska, but it's a little more rare. A lot of conservatives, a lot of people keep that hidden, and then they move, and then that's when they have their butterfly transformations. Which is fair. I get it. It's safety risk, You don't know how family and friends are going to react. That's awful, Be yourself, because if dumb, straight white guys like me can be themselves, like, you should be good to go. People just think I'm quirky and weird, and I'm like, yeah, you should give everybody that same respect. I'll just be quirky and weird. Just putting people to sleep for a living. Someday maybe. We'll see. I don't know. It'd be cool though, wouldn't it? Even if it was for like a month. Yeah, okay, here we go. 1 hour. I don't, depending on how early I got this, but we're at about an hour. So we have accomplished the goal, the dream that I had like 30 minutes ago. And then I had only previously thought of once or twice, like, what if I whisper ramble for an hour? Could I do it? How shot would my voice be? Okay, you know what? Here's clickbait. We're gonna do a voice reveal at 1 hour. Which we've hit, so this is my normal voice. Not really. I can tell it's pretty strained from whispering for an hour. So hopefully I didn't just ruin my voice for the next week. But I'm gonna go edit this video. I don't really edit these videos very hard. I just fade them in, fade them out, and add a little cut. Then I'm gonna drink some tea. So thank you as always for watching. If you made it this far, wow, I admire your dedication. I probably would have clicked off of this at 20 minutes or much earlier than that, because yeah, I don't know. Who wants to? I don't want to hear me talk for an hour. You are much braver souls than I am. So, yeah, look forward to not any more whisper videos for a couple days while I let my voice recoup, and I'll do some of these other ideas and some of these requests. And if you have a request, drop it down below, and hit the like button, of course. Gently caress the like button, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Which, if you haven't subscribed by this point, you've watched an hour and a minute of me talking about nothing with no plan. You might need help, or you just don't have a YouTube account, which, then you probably don't need help, but maybe sign up for one, because it's kind of neat to have a YouTube account, and it remembers the stuff you like, and, tells you when people you like upload videos. It's kind of cool. So, yeah, that's it for today. See you next time.